Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of No Place But Home, a special series produced by the Intelligent Community Forum during the COVID-19 crisis. We are recording this, of course, from New York City. Today is April 15th, 2020. It has been 35 days since the World Health Organization declared this a global pandemic. Globally, we are approaching 2 million cases of COVID-19. 609,443 of them are in the United States of America. Today in New York State, where I live, we have more cases than any place else in the United States. The total number of coronaviruses is over 10,000. We have added 3,778 cases through our hospital data tracking system. Even though those cases were not tested, they have been diagnosed as COVID. Some sad news today. We found out that we are losing 69 people in our nursing homes here each day. And of course, those are people who are our grandparents and our parents and people who fought in World War II and went through the Great Depression and survived the Holocaust. So we think that's a particular tragedy, but it is affecting the elderly. We also learned from the statistics which keep coming to us here that 22% of people who are dying of this disease are dying in their homes, not even making it as far as the hospitals. In nearby New Jersey, our neighbor state, with whom we have a very close economic and cultural affiliation, they yesterday recorded their highest numbers ever. New York State and New York City seem to be leveling off. Hospital admissions are considerably lower now, as are people in the ICU. So we may have together worked on making this problem less fearsome for our brave healthcare workers. This is normally a day in the United States where we pay our taxes, April 15th, but we have decided, the federal government that is, that we are going to postpone that. So that may be the reason that yesterday in New York City, if you looked over the river, you saw a rainbow, because we don't have to pay our taxes this year. So that has been canceled temporarily, but what has not been canceled, I learned from Matt Owen, our producer, is that on April 12th, Taiwan's baseball season became the only one scheduled anywhere in the world. Now, opening day was held in Taichung's stadium. Taichung was our 2013 Intelligent Community of the Year, so you would expect that they would be the first to go. Interestingly enough, of course, there were no spectators allowed because Taiwan is also managing the COVID-19 crisis, but we heard that there are robotic mannequins in the stands with the team's colors, but I don't have any confirmation of that, and maybe our guest today does. For sports fans, it turned out to be an extra inning win by the Uni President 7-11 team. A very good game in the extra innings. So all of this makes me miss Taiwan. It is one of the truly wonderful places on earth. I always tell people that after the United States, it's my second favorite country in the world. ICF was there for the top 7 announcement, as you know, in February. And we had Madam President Tsai preside over that. And today, I'm very honored to have coming to us from Hsinchu, the site of the Intelligent Community Forum Institute for the Study of the Intelligent Community, its director, Miss Ema Hsieh. And Emma, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for staying up late to talk with me.
Hi, Lou. Thanks for the invitation. That's my pleasure to share some information and our experience with you and with all the audience.
Well, it's great to see you, and always great to see your smiling face. And I know it's late at night there, so you continue
it's 11. It's 11 at night.
But Emma, on a serious note, I want to thank you on behalf of the healthcare communities in the United States, because as you know, about over a week ago, your country, when we were short of supplies, sent us millions and millions of masks for our healthcare people. And I reached out to your Consul General here and others in the New York, Taiwan Economic Cultural Office to thank them. But I want to thank you because that's what a friend does. And we really, really appreciated it. You saved lives.
Taiwan can help. And I'm so proud of the behavior this time we can do for the world. And we also want to help to the world.
Well, you've always done that, and even more so now. Emma, let's get into the situation in Taiwan. Can you please describe for me where you are and what's happening in the city where you are and where the Institute is located?
I'm in Hsinchu. Hsinchu is a very important city in Taiwan because everybody regards Hsinchu as the Silicon Valley in Taiwan. So according to the description, you can understand Hsinchu is a city with a high tech and do lots of contribution to our economy of Taiwan. So right now in Hsinchu, I still can go out for shopping, go to Costco, go to shopping mall, go to local market, and people go to the office without any problem. But lots of the high-tech technology companies, they already adopt some rule to arrange their employee in different office, or they take turns, somebody to work at home, but somebody to work in the office. But the daily life is still going, yeah.
Is there a mandate from the city to stay at home, similar to what we have in most of the United States?
No, until now, we don't have this kind of limitation or issue to stay at home. We still can go out, go shopping, go. But we have some rule. For example, government advisors don't get together inside the room for activity more than 30 persons, or don't get a reunion more than 50 persons outside the door. So we will follow, most of us follow the rule, yeah. And more important is everybody want to wear the mask. I know the culture is so different. In Taiwan, when we
Yes.
Catch cold, or if we have some issue with our inspiration breathing system, we will wear the mask. So when we face the coronavirus, it's so natural for us to wear the mask. But I know some different culture, they have the issue to wear the mask. They think, oh, if you wear the mask, you already sick. But in Taiwan, we don't think so. So everybody wear the mask. When you go to the local market or you go to the night market, you will see everybody wear the mask without any hesitation.
And you know, you're absolutely right. And one of those cultures that never wore masks until now is, of course,
Yeah,
the West,
yeah.
and in the United States in particular. And of course, you know, my wife happens to be Korean, so she was way ahead of me in terms of the masks. But in the United States, you only wore a mask if you were going to rob a bank. So if somebody had a mask on, we would get scared.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to ask you about the masks and then testing. With regard to the mask, did it begin did the tradition begin in Taiwan because of the pollution originally?
No, I think beginning is also for people, they are coughing. They don't want to influence to the others. That's the original. And then come to the pollution issue. So people also wear the mask. And so it is naturally, people is used to have a mask when they have some health issue. So right now, when government say you had better to wear your mask, right now our rule is if you want to take public transportation, you should wear, you must wear a mask. Otherwise, you are not allowed to get on public transportation. So for us, it's very natural.
Sure.
From the beginning until the air pollution, until right now we have coronavirus. So nobody refuse or don't agree to wear a mask.
Of course, you have much less pollution now
Yeah.
than before, so it is primarily for health reasons, I'm sure. You know, Emma, I wanted to just ask you, because you had mentioned something about workers being, as we say here, staggered. Some work at home, some work at the office, and so forth. Is that a decision the company makes as to how many workers or who goes to the office? Do you say Emma works at the office on Monday, Lou on Tuesday, Matt on Wednesday, Holly on Thursday, that kind of thing? Is it formal or informal?
Depends the company. For example, my husband, he works for a very big optical companies. They are more than 10,000 employees in Taiwan. And right now they still go to the office, but they will have, if you are in the same department, you have to separate into two parts in different office. But they are still in the company,
right.
but they mix they want to keep their ability, fighting ability and working ability. So they separate the people into different rooms, into different departments. So in case this area, the people get sick or they get one person has issue or have a suspicious situation, the other part of this department still can work with the others. That's his company's situation in Science Park. So it depends on the company's policy, not the policy from the government.
And how much of the work in the science park, which is, I think, it was the first science park as well in Taiwan,
Yes.
is online? A lot of research is online. Is there a significant online capability now among the researchers and the workers in that science park?
Yeah, right now they for the meeting inside the companies, they already use the remote technology. Means people cannot go into a room to have a meeting together. So they use just like a room or the other kind of technology, have a meeting. So they already cancel all the face-to-face meetings.
All the face-to-face.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, before we talk about the last physical meeting we were able to have, which was our Top 7 event, let me ask you before that, though, is there testing being done
Yes.
aggressively in Hsinchu and Taoyuan and some
Yes.
of our other intelligent
Yes.
communities there?
Yes, not only in Hsinchu, I think all over the Taiwan, even some restaurants, they also have temperature testing just before you go into. If you, for example, the university, they also give the students, all the professors, the temperature testing before you enter to the campus. And some restaurant, shopping mall, they also do that. They also offer the alcohol to, I think, to do the disinfection for your hands before you enter to the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is that being conducted by the city or by the people who run the university, or is it a collaboration, the testing?
That's conducted by the organizations because they want to do, and that's protect the people. So as my friend say, if there is a restaurant, they do nothing, she feel afraid. She think, oh, maybe the other one have some issue. So she prefer to have this temperature testing
Sure.
and washing the hands, and she can go inside and she feel comfortable to have a meal inside. So that's become a common situation that people can face and accept.
And if someone has a temperature, they identify who they are and they send them away. Is that?
Yes, immediately they don't allow him to go in. For example, if you are tested high temperature in a university, immediately you will be bring to a special room to stay, and they will kick off all the protecting process to inform the doctor, to inform the related person to take care of you and to test if you are positive or something happened. Yeah, to make sure the others' safety.
Well, so far it's working because you have a
Yes.
very, very low rate of infection
Yeah.
there. And of course, when ICF was there for the Top 7 event and announcement, people were concerned because there had been the
Yes.
outbreak in Wuhan, China, which is
Yeah.
a long ways away, but still people were very concerned. But it turned out to be great. It was a terrific event. As I mentioned, Madam President was there of your country to
Yes.
open the event. But I know you are very calm and smiling and all the time, but you were really managing a tiger. I know you were concerned about that. Just,
That's an
yeah, describe.
unforgettable experience. You know, I was in charge the inviting people from abroad. So before the Chinese New Year, I mean before the end of January, can you imagine how many persons registered? More than 60. But after the Chinese New Year, every morning, I was afraid to open my computer to read the email because every day I receive several emails say, sorry, I have to inform you I cannot go to Taiwan because the virus, because our government doesn't allow me to go to Asia, to go to Taiwan, to go to China. So I reply, we are not China, we are Taiwan, so we are different. But the answer is, oh, the government cannot understand Taiwan is not China, so they don't allow us to go. And even at that time, every day, I make some information collecting about the Taiwan situation to send an email to the registrators to let them know the Taiwan situation and how we protect. And also I collect information to teach all the registrators how to protect yourself during the trip, and don't make your transfer in China or Hong Kong. If you transfer there, you are not allowed to come to Taiwan. And besides, if you are in Taiwan, you should wash your hands. If you are coughing, don't tour the others. You have to. So I read lots of the information to share with our registrators. So before they're coming to Taiwan, I think at last, I only have 21 persons from more than 60 downsized to 21. But fortunately, everything was going well and they had a good time and nothing happened because after the meeting, I also follow everyone. Are you okay? When you go back to your city, and everybody say, oh, thank you so much. We had a very great experience. And we also learned Taiwan how to do the prevention from the coronavirus.
Oh, exactly. And when you say 21, you mean 21 of the international delegates
Yes,
that were scheduled. But those who came from New York, the ICF team, the people from Rochester that I mentioned earlier, and Albany, New York, they all came back and said exactly what you said, that we learned a lot about how to manage COVID from Taiwan, and it was just a great event. So congratulations on that. And
thank you. That's
really,
very wonderful experience.
I know, and we hope you didn't get an ulcer from it. You know, and certainly Taiwan is not China, as you mentioned, far different. In many areas, though, in Asia, we notice it is different than the United States when it comes to rural health care. In the United States, for example, in Canada, there tends to be a separation between the rural populations and the healthcare systems and those like where I am in New York, the density, of course, of a city hospital system. But in Taiwan, I think governmentally, the rural and the urban are actually one institutional body. So tell us a little bit about the rural healthcare situation during the COVID crisis in Taiwan.
Okay. Actually, I think Taiwan, we have a very good health system because everybody have a health card. With this card, you can get lots of the care from the government, especially during the coronavirus period. And in the rural area, the government, in order to educate the people, they send a bus to do the advertisement, to teach people how to protect themselves. And so far, I think we don't have any case confirmed from the rural area. Most of our case, confirmed case from the people who travel abroad. When they come back, they brought the virus to Taiwan. Lots of the cases like that way. So when they come back, they have the virus. They affect their family or their relative or their friends. So from then on, we realized the border control is very important. So we pay lots of attention to that. But for the rural area, government still do lots of educate to them how to protect. And even I read from the newspaper, even a grocery company, very big one, they send a big car to sell the products in the rural area in order to serve them. They don't need the people to come to the downtown to be crowded with the others. So they have a very good business. That's a new business model. You stay in your safe area. We bring all the grocery to you, and they make lots of benefits from that kind of idea. Yeah.
So they're literally, the supermarkets are literally driving trucks and carts there to sell. Was that a service that they had provided before COVID-19, or is this just new?
Just happened recently, because they think, oh, this is a new business they can do, because people don't want to take the transportation, and people don't want to go into the downtown. So the grocery companies think, maybe that's a good timing to do this kind of service. So they are so famous right now, and they have a very good reputation.
Yeah, they're popular.
And, get popular, and everybody think, wow, this company is so good. They can serve the people in the rural area.
And it's innovation, it's of course, I'm not surprised to hear that Taiwan is doing that, because it is very innovative there. Emma, it reminds me of my visits to top 7 cities in the past. In the rural areas, the library trucks. I never forget following one of those big library trucks full of books and information up to the schools.
Yeah,
I mean, so you do have a tradition of delivering the right stuff to people.
Yeah, from the books. Now we changed the books to the how to protect yourself, the education and the propaganda to the rural area. And besides that, we also, I think we have the health card. So the government can use a big data analysis. From the health card, government can collect all the health information of every resident, and the government also integrate their immigration status together. So if you have a travel history, you want to tell a lie. If you say, oh no, I never, when you go to the hospital with your health card and you say, no, I haven't been in Hong Kong, but when the hospital have your health card, they read it immediately. Your traveling history appeared, so you cannot tell a lie, and you will be immediately sent to you cannot go out. You must stay at home until after 14 days. So government use some technology to do better prevention, not only for the big data and the integration from the immigration and health card. They also use a mobile phone. If you should be stay at home for 14 days, government will give you a cell phone, and the cell phone with location identification. So they will have people to call you quite often to check where you are. Are you still at home? So if you far away or your phone steady there, don't move. They doubt, they wonder maybe you leave your home at home and you escape from your house to outside. They will send people to check you at your home, to knock your door. Are you at home? So if you are not at home, you don't follow the rule, you will get a fine, seriously.
Serious fine.
Yeah.
And so they're doing that with your own cell phone, or you?
No, government is giving you
the government is giving you a phone.
a special phone.
Special phone.
For your 14 days.
Right. And then you return it.
Yes, that's a technology, because
Wow.
there is a tracking system.
Yeah.
So you should follow.
Now the card you were talking about, that's one card. Is that the pink card that I saw in Taoyuan, or is it just a regular national card that you're talking about?
No, it's a regular national health card, not Taoyuan citizen card. Taoyuan citizen card
national
is
health card.
only for the Taoyuan residents.
Right.
But our national health card is everybody has it. And we have a very good health insurance system. So only pay little money, but you can get lots of care from the insurance, the national insurance. And you know, the government say for one patient with the coronavirus, the government should pay at least 2 million NT dollars, 2 million NT Taiwan dollars to take care of a person.
Wow. Per person.
2 million per person. So 2 million, if you divide it into 30, that almost around 70,000
US dollars.
US dollars
per person. That's
but you don't need to pay.
Right.
You don't need to pay if you are the confirmed case. You don't need to pay because the national insurance already paid that. Even we had a patient from China. She had disease when I know the case. She came to Taiwan for traveling at beginning of February, and then she had a high temperature. So she was diagnosed as a coronavirus, confirmed. So she stayed in our hospital more than 70 days until now. Recently, she just recovered and went back to China, and all his cost was paid by the government.
That's very generous. That's the Taiwan spirit, though. That's what you do. You invest in people.
That Taiwan can help.
Yeah. Taiwan has been a big help. You know, I have to ask you though, and I know we're keeping you up, but I have to keep you for a few more minutes. When you explain what is happening with the health card and tracking people, I hear it as that's great public health care policy. That's what should be done. And that's why your curve got very flat and you have very, very few cases. But of course, in the West primarily, but I'm sure in Taiwan as well, because it's a free country, it's a democracy, there must be discussions about, is this an invasion of our privacy? What's your feeling about that? Or what is the feeling in Taiwan about that?
I think for the health issue, people ask the government make it more transparent, especially at this period. And so every day, the government has a daily press briefing. That means every day they must make a report to all the Taiwanese people to report the situation right now and how many cases we have today. Oh, yesterday, we don't have any, we didn't have any cases.
No
and
cases.
Today we have 2 confirmed cases. Mm-hmm. So every day we know the information, but the government never reveal the name of the cases or the cities. Just say, oh, one person from USA back to Taiwan, which day she arrived and which day she is confirmed. And this is case number 375. Oh, this is the case number 400. Oh, no, we don't have 400. This is the case number 62. Like that. They have numbers for each case, for each person. They never reveal his name or where he lives.
Right.
And so I think by that way, people know how it's going on in Taiwan and also protect the privacy of these people. And we are used to have this information from the government, and we feel comfortable because we know everything is very transparent. You cannot tell a lie. You cannot hide the situation. So you have to tell the government, and you have to to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like an open and transparent democracy to me. I notice you keep using the he, the male reference, and what we're looking at, and this relates to data, is for some reason men seem to be getting this COVID virus and dying at a faster rate than women, and there's been some research or speculative research or interpretations, I should say, of the research that it's because women are able to avoid it because of their hormones, the extra X chromosome, a few scientific factors, which is fascinating and something we're going to learn if we continue to collect data like you're describing. But I also know that Taiwan is working very, very hard to find therapeutics and a cure. And I know we didn't plan to ask you this question, but do you know of anything in Hsinchu, where you are, in the science parks, where any of this research is going on?
Actually, there is very exciting news from our one research institute. They already developed a very rapid testing method to save the time to do the test. So that's very exciting. And they also developed a cure pill. But right now it's still in the process of testing. But we have lots of confidence and in this result. So maybe in the near future, Taiwan can help for the testing very quickly, because right now some countries, they need a lot of the testing equipment or testing therapy they need.
Well, absolutely. You're talking to someone in one of them. And it will take, of course, more pressure off our healthcare workers in all of our countries. And I wanted to mention that, here in New York, I guess, as in many parts of the world now, I think we got it from Italy. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. We all open our windows or go onto our balconies and we cheer. And and it's very loud. It's amazing. You look at all these buildings and all of a sudden there's this noise coming, this cheering for our healthcare workers. In Italy, they were singing to them. I believe they were out on their balconies singing, of course. Is there anything, we call it the 7 o'clock moment here in New York. Is there anything like that in Taiwan, or where you're celebrating your healthcare workers and these brave people?
We don't celebrate, but I know some, for example, some coffee shop, they deliver the free coffee to the hospital every day for the workers, the nurse, doctors, the coffee, and some do the lunchbox. They will deliver to the hospital, and we show on the Facebook, we show our respect to the workers there. But as the character of the different countries, I think the Taiwanese is more not so open to say it out and speak out, but we do by the action to express our respect and our appreciation.
Yeah, you're not loud like New Yorkers. We're very expressive. But that's and I'm sure you do that. And no dumplings, huh? That's what I love when I come to
lunchbox and
lunchbox.
Coffee.
Okay.
And bubble tea.
Last question, Emma, and I really appreciate you hanging around a little bit longer than we expected. But the big issue, of course, now is how do you find the middle way to use a
Mhm.
Buddhist reference, between managing the healthcare needs of our society and our communities and getting our economies working again. There are very few countries in the world that have such an engine of economy like Taiwan. For 23 million people, it completely outperforms most of the world economically. And so it would be a very big threat if your economy was threatened. Is there has there been a significant interruption in the economy, and is there a plan to, if so, to bring it back?
Yes, I think the most big issue is the tourism industry. I know some very big hotel or restaurant are closed because the coronavirus. People don't want to eat outside. They don't want to travel. So for the tourism, they got very big impact from the coronavirus. So government also have some policy to do the funding support to those companies. So government have some policy for them. But on the other hand, also some companies, they are so positive to see the future. As right now, Taiwan is a very good model for the virus, and we know how to protect it. So some companies already to prepare after the virus, maybe there is another kind of business will come out. People will come to Taiwan for the solution, especially the healthcare solution or health solution. So that's a business opportunity in the future.
Yes.
So some people are still preparing for the coming business opportunity. But right now, really some companies are influenced by the virus. And even people, as you know, this time is different from the SARS. The SARS issue was 17 years ago. At that moment, we had lots of lessons learned from the virus. So from then on until now, during the 17 years, we prepare every day how to quickly respond to the virus. So,
Yeah.
but
Good.
At that time, the global is not like right now. Right now, every city is connected together. So China, they cannot export their components to Taiwan. They cannot export their components to America. That's influence us a lot, also influence everywhere. So some industry really also influenced by the China situation because the workers don't go back to their factory. So they don't go back to their factory. They cannot produce. So that's a big problem for us now. But we try to make our supply chain from China to another country like Vietnam or the other side of South Asia. So that's a way for us to cooperate, to build new relationship with the other countries.
Yes,
So,
and that's a very important point, because obviously one of the things the Intelligent Community Forum Institute, which you lead, does is to look at these relationships and sharing these best practices with other countries, which will help your country, as you say, develop these new supply chains and put into practice the innovations that are going to be required, so that we can avoid this again. And what I love about what you said is that you understand there will be a future, and that it will probably be better, even though we've gone through a bad time. And
I am already start to prepare organizing on-site visiting tour or class. That means in the future, I can imagine lots of intelligent communities members want to come to Taiwan to visit the solutions. So that's a very good opportunity for our ICF Institute in Taiwan, we can host this kind of tool or this kind of experience sharing with everybody.
Well, that's right. And I think that's something we're going to have to do. We are going to be bringing our communities to places that have worked on this problem and did a fine job of it, and talk about different ways that cities can respond to future crises, and maybe put together a plan or an organization where several of us are working together immediately the next time there's a crisis. And I can't think of a better place in the world than Taiwan to be the center of this global dialogue because of what you've done. Well, maybe that's why the rainbow came out in New York the other day, because we both believe in a future. Emma, I'm going to let you go to sleep now. I know you and your family probably, want to turn the lights off there, but I really appreciate you. And,
I'm so happy to share the experience and talk to you. It's so wonderful to see an old friend by this way. Without this opportunity, I cannot see your face.
I know. We have to see each other's face. But I promise you that when this is over, I'm going to get myself on an EVA airline flight, and I'm coming back to my second home, okay?
Much welcome.
Thank you, Emma. Ema Hsieh of the ICF Institute in Hsinchu City in Taiwan. This is Lou Zacharilla on behalf of No Place But Home. To learn more about this dialogue, to see more conversations we've had with people in Estonia, in Ohio, and of course to see Emma again, go to intelligentcommunity.org/COVID-19, and you can read and watch these very important videos. This is Lou Zacharilla on behalf of the Intelligent Community Forum, thanking our friends in Taiwan again for all they've done for us, and reminding everybody in the world of the one truth: there is no place like home.